Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode, this month's episode of Real Talk. For those of you who don't know who I am Monique White of Triumph Services, the visionary behind the Transformed Entrepreneur Group and the Women Transform Group, and the CEO of Triumph Services, as I said. And I am super excited about this episode tonight because, as you know, Real Talk, we bring you the unfiltered truth. We take off those rose-colored glasses and we tell you how it is, and we provide you with the resources that you need to be successful in your business. And what does every business need to be successful? Sales. What does every sale need to be or generate? A profit. And what does both of those things depend upon? Messaging. So tonight, we are going to be talking about sales, profit, and messaging. And I have the women, these two powerhouses that are going to drop some gold nuggets for you tonight. So I want you to get someplace where you can give them your full attention. Grab your pen, your paper, or your computer or laptop, whatever you use to take notes, because you do not want to miss what they have for you this evening. So again, I want to thank you. As far as updates on what's coming up, we'll save those for the end because I want to get right into it. So who do we have for this month's episode of Real Talk? Well, ladies, gentlemen, I have first for you, Miss Tomesia Ingram. Tomesia is a resourceful combination of digital implementation, strategist, marketing consultant, and business coach. With a keen ability to see potential and possibility and then turn that into action, she has been a key contributor to the success of her clients. With a sincere passion for empowering female entrepreneurs and small business owners in general to create sustainable businesses, she has launched the Funnel ATM to position her clients as industry experts, create systems that lead to profits, and convert more prospects into high-paying clients. Tomesia not only provides her clients with the strategies and tools they need to be successful, she also develops sales funnels that attract their target market and generates more revenue. And then joining her, that's not all. We have Jacqueline Jeter. Jacqueline is a transformational growth strategist, encouragement ambassador, international speaker, 4-time Amazon best-selling co-author, and the CEO and founder of Grow, Lead, and Prosper, which equips women to conquer limited mindsets personally, professionally, and spiritually, so they can grow from a point of stagnation to their place of purpose and boldly show up to impact and influence the spheres for which they were created and destined. She also empowers small groups and organizations to identify, address, and conquer challenges so they can transform to highly performing teams. Jacqueline is a certified vision coach, Christian life coach, celebrated independent certified leadership coach, teacher, and speaker with the John Maxwell team, as well as an ordained minister. She holds several degrees and certificates and boasts a 28-year plus career as a consummate pharmaceutical veteran in global drug research and development program management. Everyone, help me welcome our experts for this evening. Tomesia Ingram and Jacqueline Jeter. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Welcome, welcome. Now, you all are doing some things. You all are doing some great things for your community and for the business world. Now, I read we're getting some feedback, ladies and gentlemen, so I do apologize for that. I'm not real techie, so we tried our best. So just bear with us here. But I read your bios, and that just tells it, they're the short version.
Mm.
So why don't you tell the audience a little bit more about who you are and what positions you as an expert in your field? Tomesia, now let's go with you first.
Well, I've actually been in the marketing industry, marketing field for the past, almost 30 years. Started
Mm,
in corporate America as a marketing assistant. And of course, as time grew on, marketing has shifted into sales funnels and digital marketing, all that now. I work with a lot of the industry experts in the coaching field,
mhm.
building sales funnels for them. Started out, like I said, as an assistant, and then that just developed into the digital marketing industry as we know it today. But I've been at it for a minute,
Right.
almost 30 years.
So what put in your spirit to target women specifically and to niche down to sales and funnels?
I'm sorry, say that again.
What what propelled you to niche down to sales and funnels in particular? Because marketing encompasses a whole sphere.
It does. I ran into a lot of women, especially small business entrepreneurs. I work with women that are coaches, speakers, and authors, and running into a lot of them having issues with putting systems in place to help them not only to attract more clients, but to have an automated system so that they're not hands-on having to do every single step along the way by themselves. And the automation portion of it, especially when it comes to what we call the sales funnels now, being able to position yourself to make money 24 hours a day with you not having to manually process orders and send out invoices, and every time you get ready to make a sale, when you do make a sale, you having to manually go out and send an email, things like that. So constantly being questioned by people, how can I put a system in place to automate this and make it easier for me to not only attract more clients, but
Mhm.
when I do attract them, be able to fulfill orders
Right.
and attract even more people. That's what led me into digital marketing as we know it today.
All right. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, so you just heard she identified the gap in the market, and that's what she focused on, and that's what she served. Now, Jacqueline, you, my dear, you're the transformation strategist powerhouse, and you deal with some things that prevent making that sale and getting into those funnels. So I read now your short bio is that's incredible. Incredible. So what else can you tell us about Jacqueline Jeter and what drove you, or not drove you, but what did God put in your spirit? How did he direct you to focus on what you focus on today?
Well, as you said, I've been in pharma for a long time, and so I worked for a company which I thought I was going to retire from because it was that nirvana, and nobody left unless they died, basically. And so one day they came in, they said, "Thank you all for your service. You're doing great, but we are going to be doing a reorganization, and we're shutting down. We're moving 95% of our R&D to Philadelphia." And so after that, and after the shock kind of you know fell off a little bit, I had women to come to me and say, "I know you have a plan, so help me map out a plan." And as we went through that process, what they didn't know is that I didn't have a plan either. I was just trusting God, like, God, what's next? Do I stay in this area? Do I move somewhere else? Because in addition to my day job of being a clinical scientist, I also had become a job plus coach, and I loved it. And I've been doing coaching and didn't really know I was doing that. Really, it was just you kind of just do stuff, and then you really discover that's something that is actual job or gift you have. And so I was a job plus coach, but these women didn't know that because where I was in a job as a job plus coach, as a certified job plus coach, you went into a pool and they pulled you out of the pool when they needed someone to do some type of like a leadership development or whatever around the globe in the company. So you weren't just like on a website that says pick this coach. So it was just funny, they came to me. And so I actually did a beta with them. We worked through a lot of things, and a lot of them, all of them, it was like 7 women. They all achieved, we worked through actual specific steps, and they all achieved what they needed to do. But the main key I saw, no matter their ages, because we were in our mid 40s during this time, so a lot of people were at that point, and they were like, I just put kids in school, I just did this, I just did that. What am I going to do? Because no company in this area is going to pay me the way this company did, and they don't. So it was a big shock in that way. And so the main thing I noticed is that we had to get through the mindset piece. Because a lot of us were very talented and still are, but they couldn't see past the what am I going to do, past that limited mindset veil. So we kind of just worked through that first. And once we worked through that, the light bulb went off, and they were able to go on and actualize the blueprint that we had developed. So that's how I kind of got into the, really put into the mindset space of that. Because I really believe that mindset is our filter to the world. And if it's tainted, then your success and how you show up is going to be tainted as well.
Right. And so, and especially for like women sometimes are scared of sales. Mm-hmm. And they just, when you say sales, it kind of has an icky connotation to it, right? So, but before we get to that, and first we're talking funnels and this and that, and the average person might not know what that is. So can you explain to me what a funnel is?
Okay, a funnel is basically a path that you take your ideal client down. They start off as a prospect or an ideal client, and you lead them down a path to purchase your products and your services. So you start, and I'm sure you probably heard of what a funnel, or know what a funnel looks like. You start at the top where it's round, it's wider rather at the top, and then it narrows down. So the part at the top of the funnel is where you get all of your leads to come in, where the majority of your leads will come in. You'll have things like a lead magnet or a free offer, an opt-in. I'm sure people have heard those terms before, but you have something that you're offering in exchange for their email address. With that, you get as many people into your funnel as you possibly can, and then the funnel narrows down as you get to the bottom of the funnel. That's where your actual clients are, the people that have actually followed you. They purchased your products. These are some of the what they call your high ticket clients, your ideal clients. And these are the people that are following you along your journey, and they end up becoming customers, and preferably long-term customers. So basically a sales funnel is nothing more than a path or a journey that you lead your prospects on so that they can actually become a client or a customer.
Okay. Because we all know it's not just that one-off sale. No. That you're looking for. You're looking for that consistent client that comes right back to you, time and time again. But question for you: can you have more than one funnel?
You can have multiple funnels. It's always recommended that you have more than one funnel, and have more than one lead magnet so that you're constantly bringing people into the various funnels you have. You can actually have a sales funnel set up for every product you have, a sales funnel set up for every service you have. And you would need to have, I would recommend that you have anywhere from 2 to 3, or maybe even 3 to 5 different lead magnets, so that you're bringing people in from different areas, capturing their attention wherever they are. You could have a lead magnet that you offer only on Facebook, another one that you offer only on Instagram, another one only on LinkedIn, that could all lead a person to the same product or the same service, but you have different topics so that you're capturing people from where they are and from the different platforms that they're on.
Okay. Now that brings me to the icky part of it. The icky part of it. So you talked about, you just said meeting people where they are. So Jacqueline, how do you, well, before I even ask that question, what do you see as a reaction or as an obstacle or barrier to making the sale, showing up?
Is that for me?
Yes.
Okay. For making the sale and showing up, I think people doubt themselves in this sense. So they come to Tomesia and say, I want to do this funnel. And when they start working through it, and I've seen this, when the women will start working through the next steps, they're like, is this really me? You start when you start really discovering your own power and your own brilliance, it's kind of scary. So people acquiesce back into that role where other people see them. So a lot of times we move through life not as how we see ourselves or how we were created, it's how others have seen us. What do you think? What do you think about these shoes? What do you think about this necklace? Should I wear it? If you love the necklace, you bought it for a reason, so wear it. But a lot of times we allow ourselves to be funneled into someone else's mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And we give the paintbrush to our lives, the palette of our lives, to somebody else to color, and when it's really up to us. So that's the major thing, is that I think it was Marianne Williamson who said, our greatest fear is not that we're going to fail. Our greatest fear is we're going to be even more successful. And I'm paraphrasing her beautiful poem. So we're going to be even more successful, and it's going to blow our minds, basically. And that's what scares us. Because what comes into thought again is that, oh, well, Lanique or Tomesia might think that I'm trying to be pompous or whatever. And my father told me this one time. He was talking about something, and I was born to parents at a later age, so I was always around them and getting all these jewels. And I remember him saying something. I said, "That's kind of conceited or pompous." He goes, "No, it's confidence. I can back up this up. You can't back up conceit and pompous and being pompous."
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times we're afraid. People may think that we are being, big-headed or whatever, when we're actually walking in the way we were designed. And that's why you may get this. I don't know. That's why a lot of businesses, especially a lot of small businesses and a lot of entrepreneurs, don't really they fail, and they don't get to the level they're supposed to, because they start thinking about, well, I only have this many coaching clients, or I only have this many clients. What is someone going to say who's been in the business for like 20 years and they have more of them? So we start comparing our success to somebody else instead of just taking it, learning from it, and sharing what you've learned.
Right. And that's what I say to people all the time, you don't know the cost of someone's oil. So you gotta stop comparing. For those of you who are just joining us, this is the March edition of Real Talk. We are talking with the powerhouses, Tomesia Ingram, the expert in sales and funnel, and the transformation strategist, Jacqueline Jeter, who's breaking through mindsets that keep you from making your profit. Tomesia, I'm going to ask you I think I found the key to the feedback. If we mute ourselves when we're not talking, then there's no feedback. So I'm going to ask you to mute yourself when you're not talking, and each one of us will do that. Then we can cut down on the feedback. But as I was saying to everybody, you don't want to miss what they have to say. You don't want to miss what they have to say, because all of us are in business to do what? Make money. Make money. And that depends on the sale, and the sale making a profit. Because anybody can make a sale, but if you are coming out in the negative, you put more into it than what you're getting back, you didn't make your profit. You're actually losing money. And if you're losing money, that's where those businesses fail that Jacqueline just spoke about. So that being the case, how do you, in your messaging, and this is for both of you ladies, you could just take turns answering it. How do you, get past that mind block? And I say to people a lot, you're chosen, you're called, you committed to God that you're going to do this, but you're not necessarily convinced. And that shows up, in your speech and how you're dealing with your customer. So how do you get past that feeling, that achiness? Because we as women, we were taught to be humble. We were taught not that we shouldn't brag on ourselves. Men don't have a problem with it whatsoever. So how do you help your clients get past that, so they can make that sale, so they can build that funnel, so they can get to that profit? How do each one of you handle that?
So when I'm taking a woman through a journey, I have a master class, and we first start with that. It's called the mirror. We start with that, and we just basically start peeling back some of the layers. And it's really I'll say a slow process, but it's a process that's difficult for some people, because there are a lot of triggers. It's breaking through those mindsets. People don't think that they're worthy of anything better. And so that's a big thing. So you kind of have to start kind of understanding what you're dealing with. So I do a lot of journaling with them in the first couple of weeks of just journaling down what things you like about yourself. Because, we pick ourselves apart. Like I've been told, I don't like this gray hair. I don't know. Oh my God. And so you have to embrace it because it's life. So what's in your sphere of influence? So the other thing that I've done, and I do with the women that I did the beta with, and with other women who have been successful in our program, is that we take a time to write down, what did you accomplish this week? What did you accomplish this past month? And look at accomplishments. Because a lot of times, as you said, we as women carry a lot. We have, we're mothers, daughters, caretakers, with everything, wives, whatever, everything. And someone's always pulling at us to where we don't have a lot of ourselves left, because we're always burying, I'm Superwoman. Well, it's time to get rid of that cape. And so we take the cape off and we put on a different cape. We put on a cape of accomplishments. What have you done? And when you start listing all these things, you're like, I'm bad, And so a lot of women had that epiphany that, this is who you are. This is what you've done. So why don't you think you deserve this? And so you kind of unpack that. So it's an unpacking kind of at 3 different levels to help them get to that point, because then only then, when that mind is kind of open a little bit, can you actually start pouring back in something positive and helping them to understand and lead them down the road of, now your goal is to be, you make cakes and people eat them and they fall out because they're so good, but you don't think you bake cakes very well. So Leia went to church with years ago, and when she sang, it was like the angels stopped. And she's like, I don't think I hit that note right. And so everybody's slaying the spirit, and you don't think, so she didn't see that at first, but it wasn't until she really started thinking about, you could be on, when CC Wannon tells you sound like amazing. So things like that, help kind of break through those kind of mindsets. And it takes a while. It takes some people longer, but some of the activities we do is we help them kind of accelerate that. The other piece in that is that it basically takes 5 positive thoughts for 1 negative. So you have to kind of get rid of that top 40 negative, list that you've been planning in your head. I'm too fat, because like I said before, we as women are very critical of ourselves and of each other. And so we have to start kind of just changing our language, because you already know you have what you say. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. And those things are not something that's simple. Those things are really real. I used to have a coworker who would say, instead of just saying, I'm not going to be in today, I'm taking a mental health day, she's like, oh, I'm not feeling well. And by noon, she wasn't feeling well. So her day that she was going to take off was actually a sick day, because she spoke it. So our words have a lot of life. But the main thing is, people have to be willing. They have to be, one, aware, and then they have to be willing and consistent. It's about consistency. And I think it's the key to everything is consistency. But yeah, I'll stop talking for a minute. I could go on all day about this, but.
And for
I
me,
want everybody, before Tomesia says something, I want you to drop in the comments that you are worthy. Just everybody drop in the comments, you are worthy. And if I didn't say before, you have to give StreamYard permission to show us your face or your name, so we know who we're responding to with your questions. Drop your questions in the chat. We can see them, and they can answer you in real time. But Tomesia, how do you address that?
For me, it's real simple. When I'm working with my clients, when they start to get into the space where they're doubting what they're wanting to do and what their goals are, not what their goals are, I remind them of what their goals are. And a lot of times their goals are based around money. So when they start being frightful of what they need to implement, the steps that they need to take in order to accomplish their goals, I just remind them of the end result that they came to me telling me they wanted. And in other words, how do you expect to reach that goal, especially the income goals? How are you going to reach that if you don't do this? So it's real simple on my end.
Yeah, you just hit on something that a lot of us, our parents might not have, had a lot, or a lot of us are coming into this with our own perceptions and ideas and mindset blocks when it comes to just that, what you said, money. We don't, either it's having that poverty mindset and not believing that we truly deserve to be successful, or that we truly deserve to have, money. How do you deal with that?
It's just going back to helping them to realize who is the person that you have to become in order to reach your income goals. Everybody wants money, but what do you have to do in order to earn the money that you desire? It's not going to just come to you. So you have to put yourself in position to do something different to reach new income goals and income levels. If you want to stay where you are, then no problem, continue to do what you've been doing and you can stay where you are. But if you actually have goals to reach new income goals for your family, for yourself, for your business, you have to do things different. You have to become a different person.
And
Right.
I'll say for myself and use myself as an example. We can have like that limited mindset in certain areas, and we can have a growth mindset in other areas. So it's not like a holistic all or nothing thing. And so I had a great growth mindset in so many different areas. But when it came to certain things, as I'm always taught, you got to save, you make sure your 401k is this, so you can retire, blah, 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 blah. And that is true. You don't want to be, willy-nilly about certain things. But when that job changed, where that job, that career, that job, that company I talked about, when that changed, and that was a place where I was, our bonuses was like somebody's check, so somebody's yearly check. It was just crazy. So when that changed, the mindset of like, almost like, oh my God, I may not have enough. And so I became more, I call it frugal, but I became more limited in that space. And that's a poverty mindset of like, I can't do anything with this. I can't let it go. Knowing I needed to be able to invest, because you've heard before, scared money doesn't make money. And you got to invest money in order to make money. And if you're going to start a business, you're going to do bootstrapping or something to get your business off the ground, because one, entrepreneurship is not for the faint and it's not cheap. And so that's something I had to kind of really look at myself and say, okay, money comes and money goes. They print money every day. So it's not this ain't the last, load of money that's ever going to be printed. And I had to really just do self-talk with myself. So now I can help other people and other women who have that same mindset of like, oh no, I can't touch this. I can't do that. You're not going to wipe your savings out, but you do have to invest in yourself, because you are the best investment that you can make.
Exactly. It's like I tell people all the time, we all started, we all started with, not the best, would say. I can tell you, I started coming out from where I came from, and I still have a silent investor. I didn't start my business with $50,000 or anything like that, but we started. First of all, you got to start, you got to step out the boat at some point in time. But I tell people all the time, free is only going to get you so far. You can't have a return on an investment that you never made. So if you want your business to give you a return, then you are going to have to invest in it, which means that you're going to have to invest in someone to, for marketing and sales. You're going to have to do someone, everybody needs a mentor or a coach, someone that has achieved where you want to go. You're going to have some, that salesperson, you have that social media person. Now we all started, I started out with all the free stuff, but at a point, you're going to get to the point where you need to level up. You need to level up. And that's where the investment comes. Putting in the work is good, but sometimes you just running the wheel. You run across they just like the mouse running the wheel and running in a circle. That's not getting you anywhere. You cannot have a return on an investment that you don't make. That's right, Nancy. You can't have a return. Exactly. So, and believe in yourself. This comes back to your mindset is believe that you and your business are worth it. I posted in my group the other day that, your dream is worth the investment. And so I think that, what you're talking about with that messaging is, that it breaking through those things that we were talking about that you grew up with, you got to resist that poverty mindset. Resist that poverty mindset. So once you get them past that poverty mindset, you talked about something, Tomesia, that everybody might not know what it is. And that's that lead magnet, that opt-in. And can you tell us what that is and how it works?
Okay, the lead magnet is basically something that you either give away for free or at a very low fee to give people information about you or about a product or service that you offer in exchange for their email address. One of the main goals for any business, I don't care what you're doing, one of the main goals should be building your email list. And the easiest way to do that is with a lead magnet. You can have a lead magnet that's an ebook. It could be a webinar. It could be a challenge. It could be a webinar. You have a lot of different options for what the lead magnet actually is. But the purpose of the lead magnet is to do just that, attract leads to your business. So you're introducing people to, like I said, either you as the business or to a product or service that you have to offer. Once they've received the lead magnet, they're then on your email list, in your wheelhouse, as they call it, part of your tribe. Is your responsibility at that point to start nurturing them. And the thing is, you should have a lead magnet for every service that you offer and a lead magnet for every product that you offer.
Okay. Okay. So
I always recommend anywhere from 3 to 5 lead magnets for everything that you offer.
3 to 5, everyone. 3 to 5. Nancy says, I hear you loud and clear. She needed to hear this all today. 3 to 5, because some people only put out 1 or 2, and some of them aren't that great, which brings me to you, because the messaging is not right, Jacqueline. So how do you form that? It could be a squeeze page, or it can just be a pop-up on your landing page for that opt-in or something that you offer. How do you, first of all, you got to get past yourself, because I'm a true believer. If you don't believe in yourself, there's no reason for me to believe in you. So how do you get the messaging correct to grab that person in that lead magnet?
Like you said, first you got to get past yourself, because I see a lot of times I've seen lead magnets and I've seen people do webinars and they're talking through their pain. Now you're never going to be without 100%, perfectly and just pristine and everything's going to be, rose-colored glasses. But the impact of that's not, is not in the forefront. So one, you said you got to get past yourself. 2, the best thing, and one of the things that I always tell people to do, is to buy some inexpensive PLR. PLR is private license rights, and craft it for your business. It already gives you a foundation of kind of a template, but also gives you kind of the spirit of what you might want to say, and you go and you craft it and recraft it for yourself. And I say that because a lot of times we don't. I mean, one thing I can tell you, I may be brilliant at science. And I'm okay. I'm pretty good at English, but I'm not good at copy and things like that. So if you don't want to do a PLR, then you need to get someone who can copyright for you, or someone who's really good at that, to look at what you're writing, because the messaging itself does not always convey. If you're not good at that, then do a quick video and part of like the pieces that you get from Tomesia. I'm sorry. And so a quick video that people can connect with, but just make sure your messaging lines up and it's not coming through that dirty filter. So you really have to be free, so to speak, in that sense. I mean, that's the simplest thing I can tell you, is you really got to have that mindset together, in the sense that if you're talking about something about joy and you're on the video, or if your writing seems heavy, people can sense that. If your messaging is heavy and you're talking about, I'm the joy coach, that's a disconnect. So make sure what you're trying to say you are, and your writing and the messaging and the tone of your messaging links up correctly, or else it's not going to work.
And
Right.
can I also add, with the lead magnet, you always want to make sure that it's actually high quality content that you're giving away for the lead magnet, because again, this is like an introduction to either to your business, your product, your services. And if the lead magnet itself is trash, as they say, it's not going to convert to that person becoming a paying client. So you always want to make sure whatever you give away as your lead magnet, make sure it's something that normally you would actually charge for it. So you're actually giving away real value, so that the person receiving the lead magnet will know and understand that you are the expert in that industry. You know what you're talking about. You give value. They can trust you. They can depend on the information to make a difference for them. So always make sure the lead magnet is high value, and the messaging is key to actually conveying that.
Right. And that's what people need to really, you said it all. And what you just said is the brand is not a logo. The brand is the whole entire thing. The brand is, what value you're putting out there is more than the look, the feel. It's what they're getting from you. What problem are you solving? It's more than colors. It's more than a web page. It's more than a logo. The brand is, for example, Triumph Services. Yeah, I have that logo and everything else, but I'm the brand. So how I show up reflects on that. And if you're putting out a trash opt-in, as you said, then that's going to get, conveyed to the person behind it. But you always have to, I think everybody, who said it? I think the DI said, everybody needs a therapist and a couch. So you got to get yourself out of the way and deal with your stuff first. And then you can then see and lead your people, your customer to that transformation. Because a lot of coaches in general, we're coaching from our experience, right? We're coaching out of where we came from or something that we dealt with and we built our expertise on. The trick is, and it's not really the trick, but the point is, don't, as Jacqueline said, coach out of that position of hurt, but coach out of that position of transformation, because that's what you want to lead them to. And then, as Tomesia said, then you come into that funnel. Every time I think of funnel, I think about, the cake, funnel cake, little squirter that they do. That's what you talk about. That's what she's talking about. Everybody comes into that, and then you narrow down, because as we said, it's that repeat customer that actually builds your business. So what other pieces of wisdom can you give the audience as far as sales, profit, messaging equals success?
I would say that prepare yourself that you are going to fail. And what I mean by that is nothing is perfect the first time. When I did my first Black Friday, I know it's a quality product. I went back and looked at some things I could have done better, but I thought, this is going to be great. I had people to reach out to me. Where's your link? And I sold like two things, and I was kind of devastated. I'm like, I'm done. I mean, what is this about? And so the thing I had to kind of prepare myself was that, okay, that was a moment. What I learned from this doesn't mean it's over. This means that I need to probably recalibrate some stuff. I don't know if it's still in the market, but Formula 409 was called that for a reason, because the 408 ones didn't work. And when you think about, I think it's Michael Jordan, even Kobe was talking about how they refine the things they do and how much they were consistent of stuff. So just because you may be faced with a challenge that you weren't expecting, learn from it and move on and refine and move on, and don't let it stop you. That's a key thing, I think, in being successful, is to realize that failure is a part of success. And I want to look at failure. I look at it as growth opportunities.
And with that, I would say make sure you have a plan for everything that you do, and always start from the end result and work your way backwards. A lot of people fail because they don't actually have a fully fleshed out plan. They get an idea and start immediately working on whatever the first part of that idea is, have no idea where they're going next, what's going to lead them to what the next is. If they run into a roadblock on whatever the next step is, they stop or they revert back to the beginning. Sometimes they go in a completely different direction. But if you have a plan, a fully fleshed out plan, and work your way from the end to the beginning, it's almost guaranteed that you'll have a lot more success. Not to say that you won't have failures and hiccups and everything along the way, but at least you'll know what you need to do to overcome those hiccups along the way.
Right, identifying those root causes, and like Tomesia was saying, having that kind of like reverse engineering piece. But not, a lot of times we put, look, this is my goal. So if I want to lose 20 pounds, okay, so what could happen? You're gonna lose 20 pounds. Your birthday's in a week. So are you really gonna start your diet now? So you have to look at that thing and map it out and look at it realistically and see, like you said, identify what the possible challenges could be and have a what I would call risk mitigation for each one of those challenges. I'll eat properly breakfast and lunch, but for dinner I'm going to eat this, and then next day I'm going to go work out and get back on track, or whatever you need to do to kind of move that forward. And I think the key thing when you're starting, whatever you're starting, is to know what your why is, and your why cannot be attached to somebody else. It's got to be attached to you. If you're saying I'm losing this weight because my friend is getting married, what if their marriage, what if their wedding's canceled? Are you going to stop on your weight loss? Are you losing weight to get healthy, and the byproduct will be loss of weight to get into the dress that you want to go to your friend's wedding with? Because if you make the why attached to something else, if something happens to that thing, it's going to mess up your whole plan, your whole scheme, and your mindset.
Right. And you said also something, the reverse engineering and having the plan, but you said it twice. A very important thing: consistency. Because if you have someone who takes that opt-in, who gets in your funnel, then what? Are you following up? And Jacqueline, you said earlier about nurturing. Again, the consistency. Can you speak to that?
I'll go real quick on this part, but nurturing is important for me. Just in my regular job, I get very frustrated with someone when they don't follow up with me or close the loop. If I'm asking a question, if you don't know, say, I don't know, but we can work this out. We can figure it out together. But if I've taken enough time to invest in clicking your email and attending your whatever and giving you my email address and things like that, then I don't have to buy from you. People don't have to buy from us. They don't have to be there for us. And so I should have enough consideration to close the loop with you. Tomesia can talk to automation, all that stuff, because you can automate those things so you don't have to sit here and manually send an email or think that I forget to reply to Susie or whatever. But make sure that you are giving that same kind of consideration, because what it ends up doing mindset-wise, two things. One, when you're not getting a lot of return because you're not following up, it starts making you think that, well, maybe I shouldn't do this. So that's a mindset thing, that those little negative triggers that come in. And then for the other person, they're like, well, I just wasted my money with this person. I'm not going to waste it with anybody else. So it's a two-way street, so to speak, or bifurcated impact of how that can attack someone's mind or cause those negative thoughts to kind of resurface or those triggers to come up.
I agree with that. And also part of the nurturing part, one of the reasons for the nurturing along your sales funnel journey, just in business in general, if you're not marketing, there's always going to be somebody else that is marketing. I don't care what it is that you have to offer. Somebody else offers something similar. It may not even be better, but the simple fact that they see somebody else consistently in front of them, marketing and nurturing them, they're going to pay attention to that person if you're absent. If you have somebody on your email list, they sign up for your opt-in and they get the opt-in and then they don't hear from you anymore, somebody else is emailing them every day. And it very well could be for the same product or service that you offer. So the minute that person is ready to buy, they're going to remember the person that's been emailing them every day. They're going to forget all about you. Not to say that your product is not better, it very well may be, but they've forgotten about you because you forgot about them. You didn't nurture them.
She just hit it right on the head. They forgot about you because you forgot about them. What did they say? It says, what's the statistic? I think it's like 15 touches or something like that. So many touches in order to convert.
22 at this point.
Yeah. So, a lot of times I speak to new entrepreneurs or young ladies, and they get frustrated because, I did a live and no one showed up. No one was on it. Well, first of all, the value in your lives is the replay, not actually the live. It's the replay, right? Or I did this, like you said, Jacqueline, with your experience with Black Friday. it's the consistently and keep showing up and doing that email nurture. They will eventually, like you said, you're staying in the forefront of their mind. And then, but some people just don't want to do sales, Tomesia. So what would you say to them?
Sales is actually
Sales
exactly. I was going to say the same thing. If you don't want to do it, then hire somebody to do it for you, because sales is mandatory. It's the only way you can stay in business.
I heard someone say,
Absolutely.
if you don't want to sell, you don't want to if you don't want to sell, you don't want a business, and you don't want to make money, because that's the only way you're going to do it.
Exactly. And if you can't do it, then you, like Tomesia said, you hire someone like her to help you, hire someone else to do it. But when you really think about it, and this is when you say, we talked about reverse engineering, all of us have a vision that was given to us, that was implanted in us, and we reverse engineer that to how we're going to get to it. Remember that there's only one of you. So you can't really scale if you have to do everything yourself. And that's where, exactly, there's only one of you. That whole one-to-one coaching thing can only last, you have limited yourself at that point. So that's where the systems that Tomesia was talking about come in. And that's where, when you reverse engineer and you start breaking out what you envision, you start to see what you need. So let's talk about a little bit about the automation, because let's be honest, everybody, all those postings you see on Instagram, IGTV, Facebook, whatever, those people are not there at that moment pressing that button saying. So can you talk about that and clarify that for everyone, because there is only one of you.
Absolutely. It just about everything that you do in business can be automated. For social media, they have all kinds of tools that will allow you to pre-schedule your post. The one thing that I do recommend is, if you have pre-scheduled social media posts, make sure you spend at least 15, 20 minutes a day, usually preferably around the time that your posts are going out, where you can actually start interacting with people that are interacting with your post. So if somebody comments on your post, you don't want like 2 or 3 hours to go by and you're not responding to their post, because that's part of nurturing. And if they're constantly commenting on your post and you never responding, or it's taking you a day or two to respond, they'll stop commenting on your post and stop paying attention to your post. But for email marketing, they have all different kinds of softwares that will allow you to schedule your emails to go out. You can schedule your emails to go out at a certain time, schedule them to go out to certain people. If you have surveys that you want to do, they have automation that will allow you to send an email, and all the person has to do is click a link in the email, and it'll put them on a certain list, or register them automatically for a webinar. There's a lot of different tools and techniques that you can use the automation for. For your landing pages, instead of manually having to sign people up for a service or having them to take a survey or whatever, you can create landing pages that all they have to do is go to the landing page, they fill out the information, everything is done automatically. You get the information that they filled in automatically. So you're hands off once the automation is set up. And there's just about any and every aspect of your business can be automated now.
Well, that just takes a load off of a whole bunch of people's shoulders. And because that has been an obstacle, and some people just say, I don't have time for it, or I don't understand it, and some people are intimidated by the tech piece. And that's when you get someone like Tomesia, or a coach, and who can help you through that, or or someone just says, I just don't feel good about making a sale. That's when you get someone like Jacqueline to help you work through those blocks that are preventing you from showing up and making that profit, or that sale and that profit. So ladies, we're coming up on the hour mark, but I don't want to be remiss in not letting everybody know where they can find you and what you have coming up in the next, 30 days or so. So Jacqueline, what do you have coming up and where can the audience find you?
They can find me on Facebook at Grow, Lead, and Prosper, the business page, or my personal page at Jacqueline Jeter. You can also, my website is on its way, but it is Grow, Lead, and Prosper, www.growleadandprosper.com. That's growleadandprosper.com. In the next month, I'll be launching a mastermind called Put Your Dreams to the Test. It's a mastermind by John Maxwell. And it takes you through really looking at those kind of what we're talking about now is, what's the test of your dreams? Is it just a dream or is it something that's going to actually actualize? I'm not going to give you any more, and I'll be putting that link on my page in the next week. But I'll also be doing some speaking engagements. You can watch my page for those and how to register for that.
Okay, I keep forgetting to unmute myself here. So Grow, Lead, and Prosper, everyone. I'm going to put it right here in the chat. And go check out Jacqueline. And now, Tomesia, where can the audience find you?
The easiest place to find me is actually on Instagram under my name, Tomesia Ingram. And within the next maybe about a month and a half, maybe take about 45 days, I'm actually going to be hosting what I call Funnel ATM Week, which is where I have a week of interviews. We talk about everything sales and marketing. For speakers, coaches, and authors, we talk about writing your copy, talk about your graphics, talk about everything that's going to help you to lead to more sales so that your funnel will actually become your personal ATM machine.
Well, I don't know about none of y'all, but I would love for my funnel to become my personal ATM machine, right? Not have to set it all up. But I want to clear up one thing though. When we say automate, that doesn't mean you're hands off all the time. At some point in time, you still have some hands-on piece to that, correct?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. But the bulk of the work will actually be automated. There's nothing that you can ever do that you're going to be completely hands off on. So you will still have some work to do, but not nearly as much as you normally would with manual marketing, the way we used to market.
Okay, well, wonderful. I want to thank you two ladies for joining us and joining me on this stage. I want to thank everybody who joined us. If you have any questions, you can still drop them in the comment section. Real quick, I'm going to give you a couple minutes while I go over the announcement for Triumph Services. If you have any comments or questions for them to answer, you go ahead and drop them down there and they can see the questions and they can answer them for you. I just want to remind everybody that I have the webinar coming up next weekend, actually on the 29th, Counseling versus Coaching, the Fine Line. So if you are a counselor, if you are a coach out here, if you're, we call each other coaches, consultants, strategists, do you know the boundaries? Do you know the boundaries? We're going to get into those boundaries. We're going to look at some real life cases. We're going to let you know, I'm going to let you know the ramifications of crossing the line. That is coming up on the 29th. You do not want to miss it. I'm looking here. I don't see any questions. I want to thank you all for allowing us into your space this evening. I don't take it lightly. Thank you, experts. Y'all, I hope that you caught what they put down. I hope you were sitting there with your pen, your paper, and because they gave you a lot of wisdom. They gave you a lot of strategies to break through some of that stuff that is holding you back from making that sale and that profit for success, because that is what He has built us and designed us to live in, not that poverty mindset. He gave us all the tools that we need to succeed if we get out our own way. if we get out of our own way. So again, everyone, thank you, experts. I am Monique White at Triumph Services, the consulting and coaching firm, your transformation strategist to help you monetize your expertise so you can live as God has promised you with love, joy, hope, and power. And I want to thank you. I want to wish you all, each and every one of you, a good evening and a fabulous weekend. Bye-bye now.